There's no substitute for hard work, there's no shortcut. So put in the efforts and then you'll get the result.
Hello everyone, welcome to Chamomile Tea with toppers and initiative Unacademy. Today we have two toppers who are from Karnataka. Both of them are NEET 2022 toppers. They have scored AIR 13 and 547. Let's all meet the Shetty toppers as they call it themselves, and they are from Manipal, Karnataka. Let's listen to the story of NEET 2022, how they cracked it, and how will their journey help you to crack NEET 2023. Hello Vrishan.
Hello sir.
Hello Vrajesh.
Hello sir.
So how does it feel to get this particular ranking, and what is the inspiration behind the choosing career as a doctors?
Yeah, so actually it feels really great, securing such a great rank. And our main motivation to become doctors was our grandfather, who actually passed away when we were doing our 11th and 12th preparation. Since we were born, he always wanted us to become doctors. And also our uncle, who's a pediatrician, and he works really well. And when we were small, he used to be our pediatrician as well. And the way he used to conduct himself inspired us that becoming a doctor would be something great, and it's a really noble profession.
Okay. So, so when did you basically feel that you should start preparing for NEET exam?
In the end of 10th, we realized that for NEET, if you want to be serious, you have to enroll yourself to some coaching. Okay. So by February, we enrolled ourselves into a coaching, and immediately after 10th board exams were done, there was lockdown. So we made use of that time at home to start reading 11th before the school or coaching actually started.
Okay, so a lot of people are interested to know that you are both prepared together, and your story is pretty interesting as well for people to understand how did you prepare together. A lot of people do group studies as well, but since you both were studying at home, how was the environment like, and how would you two gel with each other in terms of studies?
So we had one room that was seriously allocated only for studies, and when we used to start studying, then we used to make a plan, and we both used to stick to the same plan and follow the same schedule. If I finish the chapter by this much, 3 o'clock or something, he also has to finish the chapter by the same time. Then we play at the same time, we do everything else at the same time, and then we start the next chapter also again at the same time. So it's always we go hand in hand, never we are out of track. And that also helps to keep us motivated, because there's another guy who's reading and you have to match his pace, so helps you stay concentrated as well.
So basically, if one person is moving ahead in terms of the day's planning,
exactly,
the other person would also pull him up.
Right?
And how is it during the group studies? Obviously, when you both were studying, let's say that if you couldn't understand one particular topic, how would he help you, or how would you help him?
It's not possible that you maintain full focus in class always. So sometimes when I miss a point in class, he'll focus on that and he'll explain it to me, and it's vice versa. Sometimes if you both can't understand, then we go to YouTube and see some video, and then we get the concept clear.
And you would practice the exams together, in giving mock test, and also the analysis would be done together, right? So you would study together, and basically, let's say, what was your daily schedule like, and how do you manage school and NEET preparation together?
Yeah, we had a separate school for 11th and 12th, and we even had separate coaching. So school used to be online initially, and even coaching used to be online. So at that time we used to easily manage time, because the travel time used to reduce. But once offline started, late in when we were in 12th standard, at that time it was a bit difficult to manage initially, but we later found out time. The schedule was morning 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the afternoon we used to have school, and then from 5:30 to 8 we used to have NEET coaching. So we used to find time between 3 to 5:30, and in that time also we used to find at least an hour to read. And after coming home at 8 o'clock in the night, we used to read from 9 to around 12:30. So we prefer reading at night, and we don't read anything at morning. We just wake up enough so that we can attend school. If school is at 8 o'clock, we wake up at 6:45 so that we can just attend school.
So let's talk about NEET preparation now. Let's talk about all the three subjects, in fact 4 topics. Starting with chemistry, I would like you to mention your score and also your rank, your score in chemistry, and also how much questions did you attempt in the examination as well. So starting with you.
I got 175 out of 180 in chemistry, and I got 180 on 180 in chemistry.
Okay, so you attended all the questions in the examination,
Yes.
right? And any particular mark that you feel that missed out, or was the mistake in the examination?
In bio, it was not in chemistry.
Not in chemistry. Okay, so fine. Let's go with the strategy for the chemistry. Now, can you elaborate what was your strategy? I'm sure the strategy for both of you was the same. But add in the points that were very important for the learners to know.
If we start with physical chemistry first, it's more of like physics. So if you understand the concept in the class, problem solving is the main thing. Solve as many problems as you can in physical chemistry chapters, both of 11th and 12th, because mostly the questions that come are of the problem solving type. Okay. Yeah, then the next in chemistry comes inorganic chemistry, and inorganic chemistry is basically like based on rote learning. So the only way around learning inorganic chemistry is by repetitive revisions, because by doing that you would get confidence that you can be able to memorize a concept better. So it's the same like bio, like inorganic chemistry, like the facts are totally unrelated and they might not be useful later in life to you, but you have to learn it for the NEET exam if you want to score good marks in chemistry. So that was about inorganic chemistry. Now the last part in chemistry is organic chemistry. In organic chemistry, you should listen to the concept in the class, and through problems you can learn some additional reactions. It's not necessary that you have to buy out everything that's given in a coaching modules, because they give a lot of excess stuff than NCERT. If you stick to NCERT and you solve some additional questions, then almost all of the concepts are included in those and you'll be prepared for the exam.
So basically studying NCERT is a basic point for this. Yeah. And so I heard that during the last examination, NEET, NTA NEET was very specific in terms of the questions, and also the way they picked up the questions was very peculiar. So you would say that studying NCERT would be enough for the examination? Yeah, so basically, as I said, chemistry has 3 parts: physical, organic and inorganic. For inorganic, we need to just stick to NCERT. We don't need to learn any fact that is not mentioned in NCERT. And for physical and organic chemistry, our prime reference source would be the coaching modules, because in that illustrations are given as to how to solve problems on reaction mechanisms, especially in organic chemistry. So such illustrations always help you visualize the concept better. And in physical chemistry and organic chemistry, if you visualize the concepts, then you're always bound to do better than the rest. Okay. So let's talk about making notes for chemistry paper. Now, what are the important points that you would note down in terms of the revision pointers or even the notes? We didn't make notes during the 2-year study time. In the end, last 6 months before NEET, we thought we'll make notes of the concepts that we forgot or the important concepts. Like if you take P block, we try to memorize as much as we can, and whatever points we forget, we write it in that notes, so that in case later if you forget it, then if you revise those points which you forgot that time, it's enough. Okay. Yeah, and inorganic chemistry is really tough to memorize, so it was the only part, like inorganic chemistry was the only part for which we even revised the notes before NEET examination, because we didn't have full confidence that we would memorize all the facts in the exam. So again and again revising inorganic chemistry, then it will be easy for you. Okay, so when you gave your mock test, was it like complete mock test at one particular go, or chemistry section would be different as well? Yeah, so during the 2 years, like 11th and 12th, we used to have part tests. In those tests, like only few chapters would be asked, and then it's like the normal NEET paper where there is physics, chemistry and biology, and you have to, like, it's out of 720 marks, so it's basically like NEET itself. And towards the end, like during the last 6 months of our preparation, on like 24th Jan our syllabus got over, and from then we made it a habit to write full syllabus mock test, because we were well versed with the entire syllabus, and we ensured that we had the habit of writing mock test, because that will always help in the final exam. Okay. Okay, so that was about chemistry. Now let's talk about physics. Physics, can you tell me your score and also your score?
Yeah, so I got 180 on 180 in physics.
I got 170 out of 180.
So if I have to speak about physics before going to the actual strategy, I would like to know that what are the important chapters that a person needs to complete to score at least 600 plus?
Yeah, so more weightage is given to second year topics in physics. Like if you see the recent year trends, in that chapters like chapters in electrostatics, electrodynamics and magnetism are given more importance. So it's better if you focus more on those chapters, but I don't suggest leaving any chapters, because if you leave any chapters, you can't say about the weightage. NTA usually does the unexpected. So like even less weightage chapters, they might ask more questions in a particular year. So it's not suggested to leave any chapter.
Okay, so let's say that you went for the physics paper, and when we talk about the notes, what are the important pointers that you memorize in notes, write down in notes?
We didn't make any notes for physics. Like we would revise the coaching modules, because there would be some extra formulas in those, and then solve sums from the coaching modules and MTG NCERT at your fingertips.
Okay, so you mentioned about a point MTG fingertips, right? So how useful is the book for physics and also for NEET?
Yeah, so MTG's NCERT at your fingertips is like the really the best book for NEET aspirants, even in physics, chemistry and biology, because in that questions are exactly of the NEET level, and like the easiness and the toughness, like the level in which they come also are exactly of the NEET level, and there are many previous year questions also in that book. So during the 2 years of our journey, we used to solve NCERT at your fingertips, like whenever we used to find free time at weekends, and then like we covered the entire book over the 2 years.
Okay, so when we talk about the whole subject physics, like what was the important, what were the difficult topics for you that you faced?
In 12th standard, I think semiconductor electronics was a bit difficult, because the concept understanding is very important and you need to memorize a lot in NCERT as well. And other than that, in 11th standard, I found oscillations and waves conceptually difficult. Other all chapters were very easy to understand, like we could relate with it.
Okay. Okay, so if a person is having a problem with physics, let's say memorizing formula itself, how do we improve them?
Yeah, so usually NEET aspirants say that physics is their toughest subject, and they find bio easy because you can just memorize it. But when you listen properly in a physics class, it like becomes really clear to you, and then when you go home and solve numericals on a particular formula, it's that time when you memorize that formula. Like suppose there are many formulas in projectile motion, like range is equal to u square sine 2 theta by g. So in such cases, when you solve many questions like how do we find the range, like put different numbers and just keep on using the same formula. So when you use it 3 to 4 times, it just comes on automatically the next time, and you can solve it easily.
Okay, so basically a lot of practice is a must for physics.
Yeah, in physics, numericals are really very important to strengthen the concepts.
Okay, so would you advise to practice JEE main questions as well for NEET?
Yeah, it's like we had some amount of free time, like we finished solving the NEET level questions and we found it to be pretty easy after understanding the concepts. So in order to strengthen our concepts or learn even some more concepts at a higher level, we refer to JEE mains questions, because questions in JEE mains are slightly higher level than in NEET. So that obviously helps you, but if you don't have time, then it's not recommended to attempt JEE main questions.
Okay, so when you say you don't have time, what do you think like most of your time during preparation goes towards?
If you are in online, you get a lot of time saved in that transport, and that time you can utilize for all this. But if you have offline classes, then it becomes very hectic to manage between school and coaching. So that only takes up a lot of time in the day and makes you tired as well. So you don't find time much to solve other questions other than NEET. So basically on weekdays, like when a particular concept gets over, we solve questions from that concept from the coaching module itself. And then on weekends, like when we read straight hours, like on Sunday it's like fully free, so we read straight hours from 9 to 2. So when you read 5 hours continuously, obviously you get tired, and then you have lunch, so you feel a bit drowsy, right? So after that, like the time from 2:30 to 4 o'clock, like that 1.5 hour, we don't have any mood of reading, so we rather go to solving questions, because we find it to be a relaxation. It's like exercising what you already know. Like we know all the concepts, then we solve questions and we get those right, and then we get confidence to move ahead.
Okay, so we spoke about physics and we spoke about chemistry as well. Now, talking about taking the subjects on an individual day basis, how would you divide? You mentioned that you also had a time strategy for the whole day, like which topic to complete and how much to complete, right? So, how was the strategy for both physics and chemistry during the day?
Mostly what we read, it depends on the upcoming tests that are coming, and whenever we are tired, like after playing cricket, then we don't feel like reading, right? That time we go to read physics because it doesn't involve much of memorization. So that time we read physics, and for chemistry also, in physical chemistry also, we read in those time where our concentration is not at the peak. We keep bio and inorganic chemistry when we are at our peak concentration.
Okay, okay. So, what do you say is according to you, what was your peak hour of concentration?
So for us, usually we like to read at night, but then due to the shortage of time, we can't complete a particular chapter. So like on Sundays, we get time from 9 to 2, like straight 5 hours, and when you get such continuous hours, like you can complete a chapter at one shot. So suppose it's P block or S block or something like that. If you start at morning 9 o'clock, then you can end at 2 o'clock, like that chapter is completed. So we prefer to read in Sunday mornings, like that's our peak concentration time.
Okay, so a lot of people do have backlogs as well. Now the backlogs are like kind of it's a pain for you because it blocks your next step.
Yeah.
And so you also mentioned about your one particular step, that is following the order of the coaching classes.
Yes.
Now, was it easy to follow the order or was it difficult for you?
Mostly it's like the school and the coaching used to do the chapters in the same order, so it used to be easy for us. But sometimes occasionally the chapters that come in the coaching exams test, those will be different. So in such cases what we did was we gave more priority to the coaching exams syllabus than the school test, because school test won't count in the end.
Correct. Okay, so let's talk about biology right now. We spoke about physics and chemistry in a very detailed manner.
Yeah.
Now, biology is kind of very important because it's 50% of the marks. Now, biology divided into two sections. I would like you to speak in terms of botany and zoology. And yeah, what was the strategy for botany?
We follow the same strategy for both botany and zoology. I think I felt zoology was a lot easier than botany because we could relate to it. But the strategy of memorizing for both botany and zoology was the same, where we would read 1.5 pages at a stretch and then underline the important lines and then try to say the thing to ourselves. Like then it would register in our mind and we would remember it for a longer time.
And when we used to do this, like we used to keep a time frame, like suppose it's 10 o'clock in the morning right now, and now by 10:30 we have to finish the next entire set of 1.5 pages. So by within 10 minutes you have to finish going through the entire 1.5 page. Then after that, within 5 minutes you have to underline everything that's important for you, and then you have to close the book and say the same thing to yourself. So when you say it to yourself, you get confident that I'm memorizing what I'm reading, and then that helps you in the future, because a lot of questions in bio involve memorizing only.
Okay, so would you ask each other like like kind of a quiz type to each other to understand what's the understanding of the topic?
Not regularly, but in case he finishes the topic before me or I finish before him, then we would ask each other so that we confirm that the guy who finished faster has read properly. So that's all. We don't regularly ask each other questions.
Okay. Okay, and you mentioned that biology is all about memorizing things properly. Now, memorizing so much of information is not easy. How would you memorize the concepts?
Yeah, so when we were in 11th initially, like when the chapter used to get over, we used to revise it 3 to 4 times consecutively on the Sundays. Like suppose the chapter got over this week, on this Sunday I would read it, then on the next Sunday, then I would leave one Sunday and then read it on the next Sunday. Like this, there would be many chapters going on simultaneously. So on Sundays we used to read a lot, and then once 11th got over, like in March of last year, then till May we had holidays. So that time we read the entire 11th biology twice again, so that we can memorize it better for next year. and even though we did so much of reading of 11th bio, when we read it after the entire 12th syllabus was over, that was on 24th Jan this year, our retentivity was only about 30 to 40%. So despite so much reading, our retentivity was so low. So if you don't even read that much, then your retentivity might even go up, go below to 10%, and with such retentivity is like really very tough. So now our retentivity was 30 to 40%. So again we read the whole 11th bio when in school 12th was still simultaneously going on, and then we read 12th, and then we came back again to 11th and revised it fully, and we made notes of that. So notes always helps, because when you write something that you don't know, while writing it registers in your mind. So in the final exam we didn't face any memorizing issues like in biology. It was just a bit of controversy in the questions that led to errors.
So I would like to know from you that when you prepare subjects like biology, how would you study each chapter like? What is your strategy, like let's say completing a particular chapter and then going for the revision and then mock test? So what was your thought process?
Yeah, so when a particular chapter got over in our coaching institute, we used to not consider school very important. So we used to follow the schedule of the coaching institute. So if that chapter got over in the coaching institute, like every day what part was taught, we used to come home and read the same day, like from 9 to 12:30 that we used to do every day. So that time we used to cover the concept that was taught that day itself. So cumulative like efforts over all the classes of that particular chapter will lead to like easier study later. So once the chapter gets over, we again revise the entire chapter at one go, and that's usually on a Sunday, and then the next Sunday of that again we revise that chapter, then we leave a particular Sunday and then we go to the next Sunday of that, so that we can just check how much we memorize. Because if you skip one Sunday, it like becomes a gap of 14 days, and even if you memorize then you can be confident about that chapter.
Okay, you mentioned about gap of 14 days, right?
Yeah.
And also covering each and every chapter on the same day of the institution. Now, it's not easy to manage this, and also a lot of people do go through backlog. So how did you manage your backlogs?
We had online in 11th, so we had extra time, so we didn't have any backlog. But if in case you have any backlogs, then keep the backlogs for later after the 12th standard is done. For now, when your 12th is going on, focus on 12th, because if you focus on the backlogs, then 12th also will go bad, and then it'll become very worse in the last few months before NEET.
Yeah, so if you're still in 11th right now and you're watching this video, then I would advise you that the break you get between 11th and 12th, about a 1.5 month holiday, in that cover as much backlog as you can. Like, don't relax in that holiday, and that will help you in future, because keeping backlogs is always a mental stress and it doesn't allow you to remain at maximum productivity.
Okay, so you would mark the backlogs that these are the things that I need to study, and then I will come back to it later and study again whenever you find a right time. For example, for you did after 12th, and for you did after 11th, between the 11th and 12th gap. So any particular timeline that the people should follow, or it's depending on them?
Yeah, so if you are in 12th right now and you have backlogs, then try to cover some backlogs if the concept is similar to what is there in 12th. Like, there are some concepts that are repeated, like some chemistry concepts are repeated in 12th physics, and some 11th physics concept are repeated in 12th chemistry. So when you go through those concepts in 12th itself, that time you can simultaneously revise the 11th like the 11th level of that, so that you get through with at least that much backlog. And then the remaining backlog, if you still find time despite a busy schedule in 12th, then you can always try to cover it like how much ever, like to the full extent possible.
Okay, so now let's talk about the entire preparation journey, the timeline of NEET preparation. You mentioned that you started studying from 10th, but the actual preparation started after the 10th boards.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
So I would like you to mention about what happened after 10th boards, and how did you start studying for class 11th and class 12th? When was your syllabus completion time, and when was the revision time, and also the mock test? So complete preparation timeline.
Our 10th boards were done by 18th March 2020, and 19th March lockdown was announced. So we had fully free time, and we thought that we'll go through 11th and 12th syllabus as much as we can in the form of videos. So we did that, and school started around July, and our coaching institute started in August. So when school was there, we didn't focus, like we could focus only what was done on school, but once coaching institute started, we put school behind, and the coaching institute we gave it more importance, and like this we could finish the 11th syllabus by March. Then we got about a month of holiday from 11th to 12th. Then after that, our coaching institute and the school started simultaneously. The coaching institute started offline classes in September, and our school started offline classes in November. So once it became both offline, then became hectic because you have to go to school, come back from school, then go to coaching institute, come back home, and then again next day school. So that time we found it a bit difficult, but somehow we could get through that phase. Then after that, 24th January 2022, our coaching institute finished the full syllabus of 11th and 12th, and from then on we started our 11th and 12th complete syllabus revision.
Yeah, so 24th Jan, as soon as it got over, from 25th Jan, we started revising 11th again, because we thought that 12th was just now done, like recently. So we'll cover 11th first and then we'll go to 12th. So from 25th Jan, we took up to March end to finish the whole 11th syllabus, because simultaneously there was school from 8 to 3, and also our coaching institute had organized the NEET revision program, under which we had daily tests and daily classes. Like those classes were revision classes where they used to complete 3 to 4 chapters in like a 1.5 hour sessions in like in really concise manner, so that we just remember the important points. And then we used to write a test every day based on what was taught that day in the revision class. So like that, there was a test series for 1 month, and we covered all the chapters of 11th in physics, chemistry and bio. And then our coaching institute took a month off, and even our school gave us a month off, that was April. And during this month, since our 11th syllabus was over, we switched to 12th syllabus. So since 12th was relatively new for us, like we had better retentivity, we could cover it up in just 1 month. The entire 12th syllabus, that is physics, chemistry and bio, we finished from 1st April till the end of April. And then May and June were the months where we revised the entire 11th and 12th again, and we made a mistake, and we made a notebook where we noted down all those points where we had forgotten something, or all those important points that were mentioned in the various books. So like this, the revision of 11th and 12th got over. So if you count the total number of times we revised 11th, it's like 4 times when the chapter got over, and then twice again when 11th to 12th holiday, so you can make it 6, and then again 11th once more, like from 24th Jan, and then again 11th once more, entire revision. So became about 8 times of reading the same chapter. So when you read a particular chapter so many times, then it's bound to happen that you remember everything in the exam hall. And repetitive revision is really very important, especially for memorizing. And for concept visualization, it's better to build concepts when they're taught to you, and that will help you become better later.
Okay. And you started your mock test after April?
Yeah, so the NEET revision program started from February end, so that was like a mock test experience. But before that also, we used to write 2 mock tests a month, and that used to be on the chapters that were covered in that particular month. Okay, so then from May to June end, we had another NEET revision program where all chapters of 11th and 12th were covered in a chapter wise manner. And it was like, suppose there's a chapter human reproduction, entire 360 marks worth bio used to come from that particular chapter. So there used to be 90 questions from a single chapter that is just of 7 pages in NCERT. So that means that all the concepts, like every line of NCERT was covered in that test. And these like detailed chapter wise tests obviously help you, because like questions are asked from every angle possible, and there can't be any other question in NEET which can appear out of this. So after these chapter wise tests were done, like by June end, then there was last 15 days left for NEET. Like NEET was on July 17th. So from 4th to 14th of July, we had offline full syllabus mock test, and we used to write it at the exact same time of NEET, that is 2 to 520. So these tests obviously helped us a lot, and even after the test series got over on 14th, on 15th, 16th and 17th, on 15th and 16th, that were 2 days just before NEET, we even attempted previous year papers at home at the same time, that is 2 to 520, so that we don't break the paper attempting the habit, and then the next day just becomes like a normal paper because you have keep on giving the 720 marks worth papers since like the past 15 days. So like the next day just feels like another exam, and you will like not panic in that exam, so you will be able to do better.
Okay, so you how many total number of mock tests that you gave for the examination?
If we count the part test, not the full syllabus ones, we gave around 70 to 80, and the full syllabus tests we gave around 30 of them in the end. Yeah.
30. And what were the marks that you got in the initial phase, and then what was the mark in the final mock test?
Yeah, so I made a book where I wrote all my scores so that I could make a note of it, and my lowest score in like the final series of mock tests was about 670, and when I used to get low marks, it obviously used to be demotivating that I read everything and now NEET is like going to come really close. So what if I get 670 in NEET itself? Like I'll not get my dream college, that is AIMS Delhi. So when you make such mistakes, like when you get so low marks, then it's always important to do error analysis. So we both made a mistake book of our own. Like we used to do different mistakes, like we used to not do same mistakes in every test, and then we used to separately note down our own mistakes in that, and we used to specifically highlight silly mistakes. So to give an example here, there's always this question in the chapter of solid state where they give a composition of ferrous oxide Fe 0.950 or something like that, and then they ask the percent of +3 oxidation state in this particular oxide. So when I do that, I always find the total number like something around 80, and then I forget to take the percent, like I have to take the percent out of 95, but then I write the final answer as 80 itself. So I did this silly mistake about 4 to 5 times, and then after repetitive highlighting I avoided this mistake in my final series of mock tests. So that was one example, and there can be many such silly errors that you can avoid if you make a mistake book and then revise that mistake book just 2 days prior to the exam, because just 2 days prior to the exam you don't want to be reading new content, because that will lead to panic if you don't know something. So the 2 days before the exam, that was 15th and 16th, I just spent time going through my mistake book, so that I was telling myself that these are the mistakes I want to avoid, and I want to like write the exam and come out guilt free that I didn't do any silly mistake in the exam.
That's great. So can you mention a couple of examples of the silly mistakes that you should do and you recovered from it?
Sometimes in physics it used to be like simple calculation mistakes where you added instead of multiplying and all. Those kind of mistakes get corrected very fast, but mistakes like that one which he told, it takes a little time for correction. Obviously you feel irritated that you're not able to correct it soon, but if you keep patience, then you won't do that error in the final exam.
So he mentioned a couple of mistakes in his mistakes books. So can you give an example of what were the mistakes that you recorded in your mistake book?
In bio and chem, there used to be some long statement questions, and I used to miss reading the not or some important keyword in that, and then the answer that I used to put used to be totally different from what's correct. So that mistakes also happen regularly, and apart from that, calculation mistakes in physics and physical chemistry are also very oftenly occurring. So we have to work on them, and then you can avoid them in the exam.
Okay, so this was done during the last few days of the exam, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the exam right now. Like what should you do the last 1 month of the exam and 1 week before the exam?
Yeah, so 1 month before the exam, you need to have a habit of giving repetitive mock tests. Like you need to write a mock test almost every day to keep yourself used to the test writing habit. And then apart from that, you need to be in the revision phase. You never need to be like learning something new in the last 1 month, because you might forget what you actually learned a lot of times. Like you revise it a lot of times, but you might forget it because you're learning new content in the last 1 month. And the last 1 week, it should be like really chill. You should not take too much stress about studies. And I remember even the day before the exam, in the morning we were just going through the mistake book, like from around 11 to 2 o'clock. Then we had lunch, and then we wrote a paper like the NEET 2021 paper, and we both got 710 in that. So like that gave us confidence that in the next day's exam also we were going to do well. And after writing that test, like till night, I didn't want to like watch TV because those visuals can run in your mind in the exam. So like I was spending time with family, and then we went out to visit a temple, so that it's just quiet over there, so that we can be at peace with ourselves and not think too much about the next day.
Okay, so the same was with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So any kind of anxiety or issues that you faced during the exam or preparation?
Little amount of anxiety will always be there before the exam, because your 2 years of effort or even more effort than that, it all boils down to the final day, and if you mess up in that, then you could lose up a whole year. So an anxiety will be there, but you gave many mock tests, so you should build confidence in yourself that I did well in those, so I'll do well in tomorrow's exam, because excess anxiety can worsen your marks in the exam.
Okay. Okay. So during the whole preparation, did you ever feel a low point? Like individually, did you guys ever feel a low point that we're studying so much, and how should we do it, and can we do it or not? And was there any low point or such during the preparation?
Yeah, like in the end of 11th when we used to write mock tests, there was a series of mock tests in which we were scoring about 650, which was like among our lowest scores. So at that time it's obviously demotivating, because we used to do memory errors where we used to forget like facts that were clearly given in the textbook, and even used to do silly errors. So at that time it does feel a lot demotivating. But then so whenever you get low marks in a particular test, you need to tell to yourself that you're going to learn from these mistakes and you're going to become better in the future, and all these mistakes are a part of the learning process which is going to help you in the final examination. So obviously saying such things to yourself helps you stay motivated, and it never makes you feel depressed about it, because once you start feeling depressed about your marks, then you can't remain at your optimal productivity, and then it obviously affects your future journey in the NEET preparation.
So let's talk about the last one. Basically, right now, if you say, if like the date of this publication of this video, it is almost like 9 months for the NEET 2023. So what were you doing at this particular moment, and what should our aspirants do at this particular moment?
9 months, when 9 months were left, our coaching was still going on and school also was going on, so we were busy. The last 6 months we got free, that we were only at home and we can dedicate ourselves to NEET preparation itself, and we revised as much as we could in those last 6 months and gave as many mock tests as we could, and that will help you boost your NEET marks.
Okay, so for those who are preparing, those who are still in class 11th, what should they do at this particular moment?
Yeah, so you need to always set a goal for yourself, and that goal should not be in terms of a score or a rank, rather it should be in terms of a dream college. Like when you when you're demotivated and you feel like there's too much stress going on, the image of your dream college should come in front of you, and then you should feel like there are hundreds of other people who are working hard towards the same thing, right? And if I give up at this moment, it is those people who are going to go above me, and those people are going to get the seat in that college. So obviously when such visuals come in front of you, it keeps you motivated that you want to perform better than others, and that's why you always stay concentrated on your studies. And for those who are like in 11th right now, I would say that it's just these 2 years of preparation that you need to do, and after that life is a lot better. Like since NEET was done, I had a lot of time free. I learned video editing, and I did a lot of other work, and even I spent a lot of time with my family, and even I'm attending fun shoots like with Unacademy and even other programs. And so if you do the effort right, then after the 2 years of effort, life is going to be really happy for you, because you're going to get a good seat in a medical college and your future is like secure. So that time the satisfaction and happiness you see in the face of your parents and even others is like going to give you immense pleasure, and that can't be like priced for. So it's something that you have to work towards, and then at the end of the journey you should never feel guilty that if I could have done better, then I would have got a better college. You should always feel like I have done my best, and this is what I have got because I have done my best. So when you don't feel any guilt within yourself, then you can progress ahead in life also.
So the NEET preparation or the journey is not just about you two, it's also about your parents as well. They have put in up a lot of efforts for you two to be here right now, and I would like to know that, what was the effort and guidance from your parents, and how did they support you during the whole journey?
Our parents never interfered into our academics. They always used to provide the moral support that's required to stay motivated, and anything you require, they'll provide it instantly. Like even if you have to go to your coaching center, go to school, come back from school, they'll be there on the right time to pick us up, and any stationery required, will be there just in 1 hour. And our mom used to make very delicious food during these 2 years. So when you eat such good food, then you are in a good mindset and you can read well as well. Yeah, so
And
they played a very
also
key role.
the role of parents is not like just during these 2 years. It's like from when you're a small child, the role that they play in bringing you up. Like when we were in first and second, mom left her job. She was actually in a good job, but she left the job for our sake actually, so that she could focus on our education and then build a strong base for us. And then she used to teach us like till we were in 4th standard, and then my younger sister was actually born, so she had to give time to her. So from 5th standard we did self-reading, but then we could sustain self-reading only because we had a really strong foundation, and that's all thanks to our parents. And obviously without our parents we wouldn't be where we are today, and we are really grateful to them.
Any particular message to your parents, like both your mom and dad and also your sister?
Yeah, so we were really lucky to get a great support system in the form of our family, and the love and affection that they had always kept us focused on our goal, because we knew that once we achieve something great, they're all going to feel really happy, and it's a payback for all the efforts that they have done in raising us for the course of 18 years that we are existing.
That's good. That's good. So we have spoken a lot about exam and also the motivation factors about the examination. Now it's time to know about you two, and we will have a small rapid fire round wherein I'll ask you a couple of questions and you'll have to answer it as soon as possible and in a very quick manner. Okay. So let's start the rapid fire round. So let's start the rapid fire round. I'll ask the questions to both of you. Individually answer the choices that you feel is good for you. All right.
Yeah, sure.
So starting with the first question, if you had to change your name and keep something else, what name would that be?
Nishchit.
Nishchit. And you?
Rahul.
Okay. Okay. So who is your favorite cricketer?
My favorite cricketer is Virat Kohli, sir. Actually, he's my role model also.
That's great. And you?
KL Rahul.
And that's the reason you mentioned Rahul.
Yeah, maybe that's what came up.
That's great. Okay. So what is something that you learned in past few weeks?
I learned video editing.
Okay. And you?
I also learned video editing.
Okay. You both are running a YouTube channel right
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's called as NEET Win. Great. Great. Okay. So what is that one food that you love the most? You also mentioned that your mom used to cook food very deliciously. So what's your favorite food?
Chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay. So what movie has everyone else seen but you haven't?
Everyone else in the sense?
Like the whole world has seen it but you haven't seen it yet.
Maybe Thor, Love and Thunder.
Okay. Same goes for you?
Maybe Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay. Okay. So what's the most interesting thing that you read or seen this year?
Like in a sense, I didn't get.
Like any particular interesting facts that you read over Quora or some other interesting things that you came across in this year? Okay.
I have a thing.
Okay.
Like there are 17 to 18 lakh people writing NEET, and there are only about 1 lakh MBBS seats.
Okay.
That was new for me.
That was okay. So the next question: what is something that most people like to do, can do very easily, but you can't? You find it difficult to do.
People can roll their tongue, I can't.
Okay. And what about you?
Singing, yeah.
Singing.
Yeah.
So you're good or bad at singing?
Bad at singing.
Okay. Okay. So what is the one thing that you would like to know, the absolute truth of us?
Why are there wars between countries even now?
Okay. Cool. So last question: if you had to go on a vacation, which place would that be?
I prefer Paris.
Okay. And you?
Switzerland.
Switzerland. Cool. So that is the end of the rapid fire round. Now, thank you for all the amazing answers that you gave. We had a very wonderful time in the rapid fire round as well. So we have a small present from Unacademy team and the Chamomile TV Toppers team.
Thank you so much.
And for you,
Thank you so much. I had real fun actually shooting this video because I was happy that I'm able to guide some aspirants in the right direction actually.
that's great. So for all the aspirants, we have the toppers who run their channel known as NEET Twins. Do like their channel as well, and you will get a lot of interesting content as well for your own preparation. So coming back to the video, we have a ritual here that all the toppers who come for a show, they tag another topper that they would like to listen to their story, and also the world would like to listen to their story. So who would you like to tag?
So I would like to tag All India Rank 3 in NEET UG 2022, that is Rishikesh Gangule, because he's like really studious. He got really good marks in CET, like he was rank 1, and even in CUET he got 100 in 4 subjects. So he's like really inspirational, and I want to know exactly how he prepared through the 2 years.
That's great. And what about you?
I would like to tag AR1 Tanishka because I want to know what she did differently that made her secure AR1 ultimately in the exam.
That's great. So you both have cleared the exam. You have done a lot of hard work. The 2 years and the 3 years that you paid, like it gave you the real effort, a real job as well. Now I would like you to give a message to all the aspirants, those who are preparing for 2023 NEET and also for 2024 NEET.
Yeah, so for 2023 NEET aspirants, never think it's too late. If you're still lacking in a preparation and you have backlogs, then stay motivated and believe in yourself that you will be able to achieve your goal. And for 24 aspirants, I would like to say that just do these 2 years of hard work, and later the results are going to be really good, and you're going to have a real good time with family, and you're going to get a really good college. So that time your life becomes much more easier, much more happy, and much more peaceful. So if you struggle for these 2 years instead of enjoying with friends, it would be really great for you in the future as well. And stay motivated, keep reading, and if you have any doubts, then please put in the comment section. Like and share this video and subscribe to this beautiful channel. And I had real fun shooting this video with Unacademy because I was able to guide some aspirants in the right direction, and so was he also.
So what would your message be?
He covered most of it. I would just say there is no substitute for hard work, there is no shortcut. So put in the efforts and then you'll get the result. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much, and we wish you good luck for your examination. And all the NEET aspirants who are watching this video, or all any other aspirant that's watching this video, we wish you good luck for your examination. And yes, let's keep cracking it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.